I'm in Hemingford, Quebec at Les Fermes des Quatre Temps. This is the newer farm of Jean-Martin Fortier, the one that he doesn't live on. And I'm going to tour around here for a little while. I'm going to make a series of videos with JM talking about some specific things that they're doing on this farm. There's so much interesting stuff going on here, and it's really hard to just show it all in one go. So I'm going to split it up so that the content's a bit more focused, and it's going to be shorter, more concise, but we're going to tour JM's farm. We're going to look at some specific things. I've taken a lot of the questions that people have had about JM to me on my channel, and I'm going to try to address them. We're going to talk about his Ramiel wood chip techniques that they're doing here. We're going to look at some specific crop stuff, some things that they're doing there. We're going to check out his tools. We're going to check out this massive compost tea bubbler that they've got going on. So stay tuned for the next few videos and check out what's going on here at Les Fermes des Quatre Temps. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Like it's crazy. What's some of the highlights of like things happening right now, or things that you want to talk about? Really, whatever.
Season extension is big here because we're in Quebec, so it's a really northern climate. It's like Vermont in Maine. So we're going to push the envelope all the way to December, Christmas.
And you got a lot of greenhouses going up even now.
Yeah, these are cold houses. They're not heated.
Yeah.
And the greenhouses had peppers, eggplants, tomatoes all summer, and now we're going to transition those out of commission and put spinach that's going to last for the whole winter.
Yep.
And we're also going to be doing mini radishes, turnips, salanovas.
Sounds like Green City Acres.
Yeah. Well, we took some of our actually, Curtis, we took some of the things that we do here came from your playbook. So
that's good to know. Even the landscape fabric with
landscape
salanovas.
Fabric, mixing the different seeds together so that we don't need to be harvesting the greens and the reds and whatever. Yeah. But you know, when I started the farm here, because it needed to produce high value fast, because the setup was good from the get-go. And so I focused on 12 crops that I wanted to see more of, and these are the crops that I don't know how you call them. These are the fast.
The high turnover.
The high turnovers, and these are the ones that are frost hardy.
High value.
In many
that's
cases.
right. They
and
are.
So I took those ones, and then these are the ones that I sell to the chefs. And I have every week I'll have what they want and what they need out of those 12 crops, and it's always the same caliber, same size, very specific. You know, a bunch of Huckleberry turnips is 8 Huckleberry turnips the size of a golf ball.
Very standardized.
Very standardized, yeah. And for the rest we bring to market. Mm-hmm. And so it really has done a big difference here in Montreal, because now we have 20 to 25 different restaurants. Wow. These are all the top end and chefs that we like to work with, and they had never had a grower offer that to them, which is like, you know, 6-7 months out of the year, good products, same thing, continuous supply. So that's one highlight, and I could talk for like 2 days.
Oh, for sure, and you obviously do. But it's that was good cash flow then, those crops, because volume, you know, growing fast, generating revenue, get them to the restaurants. They're buying a lot of product.
Yeah, and they're buying off season. You know, when we don't have markets, they're buying.
That's great.
That helps. The farm, it's the second year, so we were 11 running the vegetable part, and it's going to be more than 500K of sales.
Boom.
And so it's a really nice start. It's a lot of work, but we're making it happen.
And you're growing into it. So it's the second, because the first year you had it wasn't production, it was just development.
Yeah, the first.
So when I said
year,
it was third year, I'm kind of incorrect. This year was your second season completed.
Yeah, but there's something to say about that, because we took one full year to set up the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, make the beds, the field blocks, and then build up the houses and the nursery and the washing station. So when we started the first production year, everything was pretty much set up, which is something that I personally didn't do, because the farm, my own farm, grew as I was kind of learning it, as I was kind of developing it. But now with the experience that I have, I think that's just the way to do it. You set it up, you take your time. When it's up, then you operate the farm.
Then you go.
Then you go.
Yeah.
And you can keep your first job while you build the farm, at least to the infrastructure.
Yeah, so that's kind of a transition plan. I mean, I guess that really requires quite a bit of confidence and know-how.
Yeah.
To be able to do that kind of thing,
Yeah.
because if you said this, the average person, set it up, wait till everything's perfect, then roll.
Yeah.
There's trial and error.
You're right.
You've had to the trial and error for 15 years of farming.
Well, that's why they pay me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. What are some cool things that you guys have tried this year that's been an experiment that's worked? A lot of people ask me about the Ramiel wood chips.
Yeah.
Have you guys done that on the beds?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You can see it right here.
Okay.
It's there.
Okay.
That's how all the beds were created here. First of all, I think from there's 45 field blocks of 100-foot beds here. It really gives you the scale when we talk about 4, 5, 6 acres, whatever. It's 45. It's 450 perma beds, 100-foot long.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we farm, and we double and triple crop. So that gives you,
Yeah.
and then average mean sales per week of vegetable is around 20,000. Okay, so that's what the kind of production that's coming out of here, and there's 11 of us doing this. But the setup is nice. One of the Ramiel wood chip, that's how we created the beds. So a mini excavator would come. The excavator is 4 feet center to center. It has 30-inch clearance between the two tracks, and it has an 18-inch bucket. And the 18-inch bucket just goes down, creates the pathways,
Yeah.
and puts the 8-inch of grass on top, over onto the bed. And then we would put Ramiel wood chip to bring the fungi into the system, and then we tarp it.
And that would encourage the
Just like the
fungus just spreading throughout
Yeah,
it.
and because one of the goal of the farm here, it's not just to make money. Like one of the goals is to find ways to have nutrient-dense veggies and ways where we can enhance the whole soil and biology. So that's another mission of the farm. So in my understanding, Ramiel wood chip does that because it brings another component to the soil,
Yeah.
the fungi life.
Very cool.
So we put Ramiel wood chip. I think it takes 2 years for it to kind of show what it does. And so next year we should see better results. But this year we've had almost no disease. All our beet leaves are super nice, and we haven't sprayed in the fields, nothing.
Beet leaves are funny, hey? It's totally a sign of malnutrition in the soil. It shows on them, like yellowing.
And the shrooms also, when there's a cercosporose, I don't know how to say that in English, like the little brown holes into the leaves.
Yes.
And so that's Mr. Desmarais just driving by. And beet leaves is one of the crops where I don't want to say moved away from intensive spacing, but it's 3 rows on 30-inch.
Instead of 4.
To give them more breathing room.
Yeah.
And we transplant them.
So this will be kind of like an introduction video. We're going to do a couple more, but anything else you thought would be interesting to add?
That's a picture of the design of the farm. So you really see the constraint was this road here, and the field up there was for the animals, and there was a wetland here that was protected. And so we had that piece of land to kind of work with. And so we put the washing station, the nursery, and the big houses centered. And then we have the north fields and the south fields, and they're all field blocks surrounded by flowering hedgerows. All the field blocks are the same size. They're 42 feet by 100, and we have black tarps to cover all of them, sandbags around them, and irrigation all over. And these are the south fields that were completed this summer. So all the design we made, and now we completed the fields, and now we're growing in them. Planted green manures and crops, and just, it's just like a massive project, but I think what we're showing here is that when design meets small scale farming, it creates something very powerful, and that's what we want to show. The tool shed, simple yet new tools.
Love it.
The washing station,
You
really
added
cool.
a lot of action in
A
there.
lot of action in
Yeah.
there. The way we do offer sheets to chefs, fresh sheets you would call them, and how all of this gels together to create a master list for the harvest, that's really cool. We streamlined that. And then I don't think it's easy to talk about this, but all the management, how the farm is managed with my crew, the interpersonal and the human aspect of the farm, I've really learned a lot from it, and I think the system that we've put down are really good.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's good enough for now. We'll see you later, JM.
All right.